Hello, this is Thinking Deep with Chioma and you're on to one of my audio articles. Tutored by the Tomato. Planting is therapeutic. You should try it someday. This is not a slice out of a write-up I read somewhere, but from my personal experience. Every time I have planted gave me a fresh review about life. For every crop, there was something new. My first proper gardening attempt was with the tomato plant. Here are some things I learned from that reddish round fruit. Point 1. Undercover. Yes, I had a garden, and the first stage of planting started with a nursery. Tossing a few seeds in each bag was easy, but there was another factor. One thing I liked very much about our estate was the birds. They came in all sorts of shapes, sizes and colors, always a beautiful sight to behold. But now, these pretty pals of mine were about to become my very own headache. There was only one thing to do: protect my seeds from their precisive pecking beaks. Got some dry grass to cover each of the bags, thereby concealing my precious seeds from being eaten before they could germinate. Some dreams need concealing at their early stages. Early exposure could be destructive. Point 2. To move or not to move. Soon enough, my precious seeds had transformed into little green stalks. Now they were no longer of interest to the birds, and life could go on peacefully. But soon enough, they were getting too big for their containers. These tomato stalks had to face the real world, the actual garden. Transplanting was one stage where maximum caution had to be applied. Whatever method I chose, I had to ensure that the plant wasn't damaged so that it could enjoy the maximum benefits from the garden soil. Change to a new environment is most times inevitable, but it is always best to transit with caution. Pay attention to details and elements that could be affected to provide a smoother movement with little or no hazards. Point 3. Pepper them. On my second round of planting tomatoes, I was delighted to find out that the process for planting pepper was no different, so I happily jumped into it. Everything went as normal, from nursery to garden and all, but at a point I began to get worried. Tomatoes were doing well and ripening. In fact, we had started harvesting, yet pepper remained green. I just couldn't understand why both plants that had followed the same process from the beginning would have one experiencing a delay. But truly, one morning, to my delight, I woke up to see the first red pepper staring right at me, and others followed shortly. No two people or projects are the same, even when they follow same channels. When you are tempted to fret or fuss about the seeming delay, remember that tomato isn't pepper. Point 4. I'll be back. My first harvest was better than what I had even predicted. Those tomatoes were big, red and juicy. But I wasn't the only one who had noticed this. In movies, one very common pattern shot when villains are defeated is "I'll be back," followed by that echo of sinister laughter. I experienced this firsthand, not with the Green Goblin, but with my pretty pals that were after my seeds in the beginning. Yes, the birds were back. Back with their uncles, aunties, cousins, and anyone that cared to show up. It seemed like our house had become their cafeteria. It became a game of first to see the ripe fruit, and for every time I was slow, I relinquished my hard-earned harvest to them. I don't even want to recall the snails. Success draws a lot of parasites along with it. If you are sloppy with picking the benefits, there are many that will gladly do it for you. As we say in Nigeria, then go chop clean mouth. Wake up to your harvest. Point 5. Cookie Monster Treat. Like I said, that first harvest was so great. We had so much. We gave to friends, family, and still had more coming in week after week after week. Then, one day, it stopped. At least it felt like one day. I'm not proud of this part, but that was when I realized I had not kept any seeds for the next planting season. I felt as silly as Sesame Street's Cookie Monster, who would gobble up everything without even thinking of his neighbor, not to talk of the future. And sadly, this actually affected plans later on. Always remember to keep something back that you can rely on when you want to launch into the future. These are just some of the lessons I learned while planting tomatoes. I said it before, but I will say it again. Planting is therapeutic. If you haven't tried it before, you should do so sometime soon. Bye. Hope you enjoyed this. For more articles, follow me on my YouTube channel, podcasts, Instagram, and Facebook. All Chioma Diru. Chioma is Chioma. Diru is Diru. Thank you.